What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? We are here for the season finale of Ladies Night. So look, we wrapped up a whole lot of stuff in this episode. Um, we see Spin having a conversation with Jimmy, with the manager, and they basically agree that they're going to have one final conversation. And Spin is ready to walk away. She's like, "Look, if we can't come to some sort of agreement, I'm okay with it being over. It's just something that's going to have to happen." And Jimmy brought up a good point. Jimmy was like, "Look, 90% of what this group does is salt, pepper, Spinderella." And Spin was like, "Yeah, but that other 10% is important to me, and I want my 10%." And I started off kind of on Spin's side in this, but I'm kind of on the other side, and by the time we get to the end of this, I'll explain why. Um, we have the performance in Australia. Remember, Coco did not come. Then SWV was late. They never explained why they were late. They never said what happened or what went down. But for whatever reason, they were late and they missed sound check. They weren't able to rehearse, and the performance was not great. Not only was the performance not great with What a Man, but they didn't do anything. They didn't sing any of their songs. Now, here's my issue. I understand that Coco wasn't there, and I understand that Coco is the lead singer. What I don't understand is after 20 years, um, after 20 years of this group going on, that y'all have not made arrangements for if somebody gets sick. I understand that Lily's voice or Taj's voice may not be as strong as Coco's, or maybe can't hit certain notes. I get that. But you're not gonna sit here and tell me that out of y'all whole catalog of songs that y'all can't give the fans something. And so I felt some kind of way when they did What a Man and then just walked off the stage. Like, why the hell did y'all fly all the way to Australia just to do a 3-minute song? Like, that wasn't worth it. And again, understanding that Coco wasn't there should have been something done. I don't understand. And, I've gone to see groups before where one member is not there and they figure out a way to pick up the slack, even though somebody might be the lead singer. Y'all know the damn words. And again, y'all might not be able to do weak because maybe y'all can't hit certain notes, but y'all can do, anything or some of the other. I just put a track behind you. I don't understand why y'all couldn't give them something. And neither did the promoters. And basically, the promoters fired them. They made it real nice. They talked about it real pretty. But at the end of the day, the promoters was like, "We don't really want y'all to do the rest of the 2 other dates, and y'all can go on back to America." So it was a waste. And Lily was feeling some kind of way because, again, she felt dismissed. But y'all were dismissed. And she felt dismissed. And it sounded like she was sort of talking the way I'm talking right now to say, "Look, I'm never going to be caught flat-footed again." But again, y'all not a new group, and I just don't understand. You mean to tell me that Coco ain't never been sick before or missed a performance? Y'all don't have any type of arrangement that y'all don't have a backup plan if Coco can't be there? I just that didn't make sense to me. And so I was with the promoters, and we promoted a SWV Salt and Pepper show, and SWV comes out and basically sings backup for What a Man, and then steps off the stage. That just don't make sense to me. Um, But they end up going back home. They meet up with Coco. And Coco lets them know, "Look, I really needed that time. I appreciate y'all not pressing me out. I appreciate y'all being sensitive and understanding that what I was dealing with was bigger than the group. And, I didn't want to leave y'all hanging, but I really needed to take care of me." And they said they got it. They understand. And they're focused on Toni Braxton and moving forward. They told her that the show in Australia didn't work, that it was a disaster. And, it kind of that's how it went. And Lily, in retrospect, said, in the beginning, Coco told us we were being too much of a fanboy and not enough business. And in hindsight, we were. We got caught up in the hype. We got caught up in being with Salt and Pepper that we lost sight of us and lost sight of what we do and what we bring to the table as individuals. And in the interim, it hurt. It kind of cost us from that point of view. So everybody's back now. The girls are back in Vegas. And they sit down with Jimmy. Salt and Pepper sits down with Jimmy. And basically, Salt is like, "Look, the conversation really boils down to this. I love Spin, but I can't keep doing this. I cannot keep having the same conversation over and over again. I'm not going to keep doing it. And if she can't understand her place in this group, then we're going to have to just move on without her and keep it there." And Pep agrees. Now, here's where Salt breaking some stuff down, and she broke it she's sort of been dropping breadcrumbs the whole season. But here's the bottom line. Spin left the group. When Spin asked to come back to the group, they had a conversation. And the conversation was, this is your role in the group. This is our role in the group. Salt and Pepper have a production company called S&P Productions. Spin is an employee of S&P Productions. She gets a paycheck from S&P Productions, just like the tour manager, the backup dancers, whatever. Salt said, we explained to her when she came back, you are an employee. You are the DJ. Yes, we respect what you've done and respect our history, but this is the way it is set up. She said at the beginning, Spin understood and was cool with it, probably because she needed a job. And then said no. And slowly but surely started demanding more and wanting more and expecting more. And Salt got really emotional. And here's the thing. Salt, you need to let people see that side of you. She started crying and she got upset and she walked away from the cameras because she was like, look, I don't want to do this. I'm looking stupid. I don't want them to see me crying. I'm looking stupid. And Spin, Pep was telling her, no, you need to let it out. Like, you let this stuff build up and you need to let it out. And see, I think that's part of Pep. I mean, Salt feels like she has to be the strong person, the mother bear, the boom, boom, boom type person. And I think that she needs to let it go and show her emotion, because she does come off very cold and very, stern. And she needs to let people know that that's just not all that it is. But she said, I love Spin, but I cannot emotionally keep having the same conversation. And we can't have the tension. We can't. I will give the girls credit that they were very professional in Australia. Like, if you didn't know what was going on behind the scenes, you never would have known there was a problem with Salt and Pepper. But you can't, nobody wants to work in that environment where y'all not talking, or when y'all all around each other, it's like a silent treatment. Like, nobody wants to work in that environment. And, Pep told her, like, look, I got your back. However this goes, I have your back, because I'm done too. I'm tired. She said, we've known Spin since she was 15 years old. We took her under our wing. I feel like I was like a big auntie to her. We took her on the road. We took care of her. We showed her the ropes and everything. And if this is just the end of the road for us, this is just the end of the road for us, And so then they went on to have a conversation with Spin. So it was Salt, Pepper, Spin, and Jimmy. And Spin was like, well, Jimmy's here as the mediator. He isn't quite who I wanted as a mediator, because she really wanted somebody that was totally, totally unbiased, somebody that had nothing to do. And then, by Jimmy being the manager, there's a certain level of bias there, because he's Salt and Pepper's manager. So, there's still a level that Spin feels like she's odd man out in the conversation. So then Salt then flipped it on Spin and was like, look, what is it that you want? What are your career goals? What are your aspirations? I want to help you get what it is that you want. And which was a perfect opportunity for Spin to bring up the residency again and talk about those types of things that she wanted to do, and how can S&P Productions, per se, help her get to that mountaintop. She went right back to, well, what I want is for people to understand Salt, Pepper, Spinderella, and what I've meant to this group for the last 30 years. And I'm like, that's not what she's talking about. Salt said, look, here's the bottom line. There are going to always be things that Salt and Pepper does without Spin. And Spin was like, yeah, and there are things that Spin does without Salt and Pepper. To me, boom, epiphany. That's it. If you go out and do your own thing without Salt and Pepper, so what's wrong with Salt and Pepper doing their own thing without you? Like, you didn't want them to be a part of your residency. When Jimmy brought up making them a part of your residency in LA and in Vegas, you were like, oh, no, this is going to be just me. So then what is the problem with Salt and Pepper doing things on their end without you sometimes? See, now I was right. See, again, like I said, I've been all over the place with this. And like I said, y'all been getting me in the comments. Some of y'all done called me all kinds of stuff in the comments. But there's more than one side to this story. And depending on the more information I have gotten as the season goes on, my opinion changes, because it should. When you get more information, your opinion should reflect that. And so my opinion in the beginning was, Spin's been a part of this group. Why they dogging her out? But now I'm sort of on the flip side, like, Spin, what's the issue? Like, what is it that you're not understanding? Why do you feel as though they're doing something to you, or that is so rough? I'm kind of, and I don't think there's going to ever be a middle ground, because Spin sees what she sees, and she's not willing to give in at all. And Salt and Pepper, like, look, we done been here and done that, and I can't. There's nothing more I can give you. I got nothing else to give you. So then Salt was like, look, when people call us for different opportunities, I've made it clear to Jimmy, when somebody calls and they want Salt and Pepper, make sure that we want Spinderella involved. She said, but if they insist that they only want the two of us, we're not going to sacrifice that opportunity. We're going to take the opportunity. If Oprah calls and says, I want Salt and Pepper, but I don't want Spinderella, we going to go talk to Oprah. And again, I get it. She said, but, and of course, Spinderella was sitting there rolling her eyes. And Salt was like, see, this is not what you want to hear. You don't want to hear that we fight for you. You don't want to hear that we're working to try to include you. You just want to make us out to be the big bad guy. And that's not how this is. That's not the situation. But Salt was like, look, at the end of the day, I'm tired and I'm not going to keep doing this. And so at this point, if this makes you so unhappy, and this group, and she cut her off. She's like, you ain't even got to say it. You ain't even got to say it. And, they basically decided to part ways at that moment. And Didi even kind of, Spinderella even kind of made it really, in my opinion, made it worse, because then she started making personal attacks and talking about how Salt is impersonal and hard to approach, and she's so hard. So that's when Salt was like, you know what? You're not going to put it out there in the world that I'm impersonal and that I'm this hard person. I'm not going to do it. She said, so at this point, you know what? I don't know how we come back from this. If I'm such a horrible person, let's just part ways. And Pep was like, see, we could have probably saved it, but then you went low, and it wasn't really a whole lot more we could do with it after that. And that was that. And that was the parting of the ways. And of course, we know that Spin is no longer with the group. She got a letter basically terminating her employment. And that's why she got that email like that, because she was an employee of the production company. And so she was fired. I mean, that's basically how that broke down. It was sad to see. I hate to see it end like that. If they do a season 2, I hope that's what the season 2 is about. Is about them figuring it out, maybe having some therapy, coming to a meeting of the mind, because Salt and Pepper both said they love her. Like, they wish her the best and they love Spin. It just wasn't working anymore as a working environment. They do meet up with SWV, and they let SWV know that they're no longer together. They're no longer working as a group. And but that is no hard feelings. Let me tell you something. Coco had a bad coat on in that scene. That thing was beautiful. It was like a camouflage, red and gray, and the way it was designed, it was a beautiful coat. Anyway, but basically let them know it's no hard feelings on their part, but it just parted ways. It just didn't work. And but they still want to do the song. And Salt was like, I believe in Ladies Night. I think that, in the future, maybe we can work it out in the right place at the right time in the right space. This just wasn't it right now. But they do want to continue to work on the song. So we may see a song from them, sometime. Hopefully the single will drop sometime this year if they had a chance to get back to it. Because all of this is pretty recent in the last couple of months. Because like I said, Salt and Pepper don't even have their residency anymore, from my understanding. We see Spin talking to Taj and saying, look, I'm in a good place. I'm great. I'm happy. It had to happen. It was, it had run its course, and I'm ready to move on and figure out what the next is for me. We found out that her daughter is pregnant, so she's about to be a grandma. And then we see her, she said she's still DJing. She went on a tour in Australia, and so she's working. And then her boyfriend proposed to her. So Spin is engaged. And so, look, sometimes what I hope is that they can still be friends. Now that they're no longer working together, they do have a 30-year friendship. I hope that they can figure that out and still be friends. And maybe if there's a Ladies Night season 2, that's what we can focus on. Maybe they do need to bring Ayanla in. I don't know. Maybe they can go on Ayanla next season and they can work it out. I don't know. But anyway, that is Ladies Night, you guys. Hope you've enjoyed this season. Let me know what you think in them comments, which I'm sure y'all will. Peace.